Hello everyone. I don't know why I'm talking like that. I never talk like that. Welcome to the Unser Star for Israel. Unser Star for Israel, I should say, because I say like a German. Post live stream. It's very difficult to switch back and forth between languages. This is Matt, ESC United, and we have a result in Germany. And boy, what a result do we have, my friends, huh?
Yeah, two right there, Matt.
It's like, okay, I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. As a matter of fact, let's talk this through. 7 songs were in the running, and one winner decided by a third of the televote, third of an expert panel, and then a third of Eurovision fans. And then they combined the results, and we had a winner. And one thing we all kind of knew, and it is true, there was a little bit more of a discrepancy this time around, but in the end, the sisters won the national final with their song Sister. And
imagination thriving.
How did that come up with that? So before I'm gonna hand it over to you guys, I need to point out, I think a lot of jaws dropped when the results came in, because if you paid any attention at all to like the betting odds, they were dead last in the betting odds. They were like let me go back into the betting odds. So there was a 29% chance for Lily to win, 17 for Gregor. Makeda had 16. Sisters, 2. 2% chance of winning. The next highest one was Linus Brun with 9%. So this is like a, not trying to make it political, but this is another Donald Trump moment where you just didn't see it coming. So yes, we have, and I'm sure there were a lot of other fan favorites. Let's talk this through. Robert, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, major shock for me. I have to say, I got a bit worried during the voting when Sisters topped the jury voting by 1 point out of 187 of Makeda, and then we find out that they're converting those into the 12, 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and I was like, uh-oh. If this is a close result elsewhere, that 1 point could literally be the deciding moment.
Yes.
And then, of course, what do we see? Sisters topping the public vote and winning by such a large margin that there was no way that actually mattered. Wow, I don't think any of us saw them winning the televote at all, and I hope that we get to see some numbers behind this, because I'd be absolutely amazed by the gap, maybe. I mean, maybe this is just more popular than we expected. Could it be really tight at the end of the day? You know, we've seen Sweden quite a lot, the votes are quite spread when it comes to the televoting with the app vote in previous years. Is that possibly the case here, that we've got a lot of similar support for the songs, and so the televote was very tight? Or perhaps they're runaway winners, and this really is the German favourite. I will be fascinated to find out.
Yeah, I am too. So the results, as you point out, somebody was saying in the chat. Rod, can you say something? Some people saying they cannot hear you. Just talk for a second.
Oh yeah, I didn't really say anything yet.
No, that's fine. But they're saying they cannot hear you at all.
Oh, okay.
So everyone in the chat, let me know if you can hear Roy.
If you can hear my lovely voice.
I know, right? So So as well, I'm just making sure to wait if it's working. Yes, I was very surprised, and somebody in the chat was actually saying that there was a lot of booing going on in the audience, and so the people inside of the arena were not very happy. So I'm never a fan of booing, especially if you don't agree with the winner. Keep in mind that, as pointed out, the televote voted for Sisters. I did not think that this was going to happen. So go ahead, Roy.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. Look, I think harmonizing songs always do well with juries, right? Like Eugene did really well with juries, and we've seen many other songs that do really well. And I did expect them to get a lot of points. I didn't even expect them to win that one, even though they were quite good. But winning the televote, that really surprised me. I thought, okay, well, Sisters are out after the second vote. But apparently not. I was wrong.
Yeah, I think we all were, because if those who were part of our live stream earlier, we didn't, I predicted, it was like one of my higher rated songs, but I said don't pick this one, right, for obvious reasons. Matt, thank you, first of all, thank you for the super chat, Lily Loves. Matt, you're a German. Do Germans just like to sabotage themselves? Hey, okay. Let me think. I think this is the year of sabotage. Germany is not alone, right? I think there have been a lot of controversial winners this season so far. So Germany just lines up with the rest of them, I guess. This is very interesting. So, when you guys listen, Robert, when you listen to the song, did you get winner vibes? Like you think, oh, this is actually pretty good, or what was your reaction? Yeah, yeah, yes. Easy ESC Veggie is saying NDR wanted the sisters to win because they placed them last in the running order. I really hope we get 0 points. Now, I do believe the sisters were also added like a last minute thing. And that also kind of smells a little weird that they just add an act, put them in last, and now, they were trying to, we're not going to influence anyone, but there was definitely a little bit of an influence there. And that, unfortunately, is an issue I have with the German audience. They get easily influenced by the opinions of others. And I always point out Levina in 2017, who flopped in second last place with her song. But she also had two songs in the running, and in the first run of voting, her other song, I forgot the name right now, won by a pretty large margin. And then all the jurors said, well, maybe the other song is better because we already have so many upbeat songs. Maybe she'd like, oh, like ballads, we need an upbeat song. And sure enough, the German audience followed and voted the other song through, which was the weaker song. So I'm worried something similar is happening. So I'm hearing they cannot hear you. So let me hang on a second. They said they cannot hear you, so I gotta turn that back on here. No, they cannot hear you. Like you sound when you talk. No. I know exactly what it is.
Okay.
They cannot hear you because I turned off your sound on my computer, thinking then because you're echoing. So I tried to turn off the echoing, but when I turn off the echoing, everything turns off. So that didn't really
nice
help.
one.
Okay, so you should be able to hear them now again, folks. They just have a little bit of an echo, unfortunately.
Professionalism.
Yeah, so we have to deal with the echoing. So
Sorry, guys.
Anyway, my last thought was, the German audience often gets easily influenced. Now, they try to be as objective as possible here, and maybe there isn't something that we're not seeing. Keep in mind, Roy, there are three set of votes. The Eurovision fans, the second set of juries, they did not go for sisters.
No, and that was quite expected to me. I did think that the Eurovision fans would go for the songs that just stood out a bit more, like Ali Ryan, like Makeda, and they went for those. So I think those votes should be valued a bit more as well, because, they are the fans, of course. They follow Eurovision quite closely, so they probably have a good idea of what works in Eurovision and what doesn't. And,
They gave it to Ali Ryan, the 12 points.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah.
Any thoughts on your part, Robert?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I have to say, by the sound of it, I think it was a good choice going for a mixture of the Eurovision fans, the public votes, and the juries. I actually have no objections to how the votes were split. I mean, obviously, not my favourite song won, so maybe in that sense I would rather that they hadn't. But overall, I think it was an interesting way of doing it, and we'll have to see how it works out. It'll be interesting to see if Sisters does not do well, then maybe they need to look at listening to the Eurovision fans a little bit more.
Yes, that's true. Sean, thank you so much for the big super chat. I know you are always there when we need you, so I really appreciate it. Goes to the Eurovision Fund in London, so thank you for that. Gonna read the comment. Well, Matt, you need to work on getting in the door. We need a nicer person than Will. Oh gosh, I gotta read it. Nicer person than William on those juries. How can annoying men like that get into such predictable? That is subjective. It's just subjective. A lot of people find it endearing and fun. Some people find it annoying. Some people think I'm down to earth. Some people think I'm condescending. It's just kind of how it goes, right? So I will not pick on William. It's not my place. I will not be on a jury. I mean, I am not. I've been approached before to be on a jury. I do not want to be on a jury for multiple reasons because I feel as I will always have to kind of uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Limit myself as far as like what I can or cannot say about a certain country or act, and I don't want to be put in that place. Plus, I live on the other side of the world. You know, they're not just going to fly me out anyway from LA. Like, can you kind of come over? I'm like, so that's not going to be really a thing. So I don't necessarily want to be on the jury anyway, but I appreciate that you suggesting me. But I hear you because one thing especially after all the shenanigans that's happening, when people get mad at the jurors, I don't want you to guys get even more mad at me. So that's why. But I appreciate the kind words. So let's talk. So Robert, I'm giving you the power of a song that should have gone. Who would it be?
Lily. I'm sorry, it's Lily for me. I'm going to hold my hand up and happily say I fully understand why some people did not like that song. There was a lot of things which I could complain about. It totally Marmite song, yeah, love or hate. But for me, it just captured me, and I was totally down for it. It is genuinely one of my favorite songs of the year so far, and I kind of knew from the beginning that it wasn't going to win, and I was actually gobsmacked to see it leading the odds when those closed.
Yeah,
but
the odds are completely wrong today.
Yeah, I mean, the odds were totally codswallop in the end of it. So, like, I mean, put as little credit on that as you want. I mean, they were all over the place during the show, and they were all over the place at the end of it. So, forget the odds. But I did not see that song winning. I thought it was just too out there, and it was just a little bit weird for people. I genuinely thought it was going to be basically the fan favourites, I suppose, and I thought it was going to be Makeda or Ali who were going to win, and they were the ones that I thought were going to do all right, and I would have been very happy with them winning.
Yeah.
And to see neither of them topping the televote is a bit of a shock.
That is a bit of a shock, yes. How about you, Roy?
Yeah, my favorite was still Makeda. I think she really delivered that song very well live. There was a lot of emotion in it, and I just thought the total package really worked for me. I also enjoyed Lily's song. I always love the strange songs anyway. But yeah, I'm a bit disappointed that Makeda didn't win, even though she got like second, or did she get second? I think so, right?
Michaela, overall?
Yeah.
She got overall second, yes, with 26 points.
It's still a good result, but I would have preferred it over Sisters.
Yes. Now, and she got only 6 points, though, from the televote, so she was third to last in the televote. Interestingly enough, and it seems to be a pattern in the German, the top 3 in the televote were the last 3 songs performed. So it's also just a very interesting observation. Ellie Ryan got 7 points. She was the fan favorite initially, but the televote only put them in 4th place. So this is a very shocking result. So if anyone in the chat, make sure if you have any questions at ESC United so we can answer them. So to answer, because I asked the question, I liked Ellie Ryan's performance. I thought it was the reason because it was the most upbeat song, therefore it stood out the most. And I thought the staging was done well. And I thought I didn't think it was going to win. I thought that the jury's going to put it further down, which they did. I was right about that. I was hoping the Eurovision panel and the televote would elevate it. The jury panel agreed. The televote did not. And that is what I'm still grappling with. Like, I have no idea how the televoters did not go for it. It really just didn't speak to them, or I don't know what it is. But that one I thought was really good. Makeda won me over live. I was in the end rooting for her. Like, there's something about her voice and the way she sang it. It was so beautiful. The fact that she only got 6 points from the televote is, I guess I shouldn't say demoralizing, because the same thing happened last year with my favorites. I just don't agree with the German televoters a whole lot. So that was...
It's good luck you moved, isn't it, Matt?
I know,
you went to a different country
and I was
where the people are so much more aligned.
I know. I've been like, no, maybe if I would have been there and voted, maybe I could have fixed it, but no.
Yeah, that's it.
Angry Box Turtle is asking, do you think Germany will keep this voting system next year? Do you think they should change it after this one, Robert?
Yeah, no, I don't. I actually think it's a really interesting way of doing it. I like the idea of trying... I mean, obviously, no idea how well they've selected, but trying to select Eurovision fans that are representative, it's a really nice way, because at the end of the day, the jury, obviously, international, you have that at Eurovision, but the televote, you've always got that horrible balance, because you want the public to have a say in choosing their own entry, just as you do at Eurovision for choosing the winner.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, the German public are literally the only people who will not be able to vote for this song in Tel Aviv. Yes. Like, anybody else in Europe can vote for it, and the German can't. So just because it's their favourite doesn't mean it's actually going to be a particularly great song. So I rather like the idea of balancing that out a bit with a kind of halfway house between the televote and the jury. It's people who care about Eurovision a lot and are the passionate fans. They are not music professionals, but also they are more representative of the Eurovision public taste as opposed to just the German public taste.
And the nice
thing about in all honesty,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's a good balance.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and after right, because people always complain when they're fans on the jury, but I'm going to make an exception here for Germany because I'm German and we're better. Now we are because it's a third of the vote, and we're talking about 100 people. It's not like just a handful of people who could sway it a certain way. It's a big chunk of them. It's a really good sample. And that is something that I could see. I don't think they should change the system. But maybe they learn lesson learned. Maybe the Eurovision panel should be a little bit more of a opinion there. I don't know. It's very difficult to say. Next question. Wee Wee Meme is saying, are you surprised that familiar faces like Gregor or BB were both at the bottom? No, I don't think when you say familiar faces, I don't know how familiar they were. Did anyone knew of them before?
BB got third on The Voice, and Gregor also had something with a talent show, I think. But I'm not really sure.
I don't think that really makes a big difference, only because last year, I forgot the name, Nadia, whatever her name was, she won one of the Voice, I think, and she was like last or second to last in the television.
Yeah, no, she finished last.
Yeah, something like that. So that not necessarily has a big impact. Now we need to. Do you think, Robert, that the odds are going to drop now for Germany, or are we overanalyzing this?
Possibly overanalyzing. I mean, I hate looking at the odds at this stage. Ryan Rush's been the favourite to win just because of the artist's name ever since he was announced, which I know Matt is really happy about. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's just, there is a bit of a kind of, let's wait and hear the song. I mean, Serhat's dead last. You do not know what awaits us on March the 7th. Who knows? San Marino could wallop up those odds. Russia could collapse. They could send something terrible. You just don't know at this stage. I think we really need to hear more of the songs and things.
Yeah.
I would expect that that Germany fall a little bit in the odds, because I think they were doing quite well with the selection.
They were like in 5th place last before the national final.
So
with people saying,
I think they will fall a bit.
To Ali, that she would win. Kenny Koala is saying, apparently this song was written by the same person who wrote Michael Rice's, whose song is better. Oh, Michael Rice from the UK? They had, this song was written specifically for Eurovision, and then they found these two singers who didn't know each other. That's what they were saying in there. So this was.
It's kind of insane, though. Like, all the other artists had to go to the songwriting camp to work with incredible songwriters all over the world. They told everybody, oh, this was so amazing to have such an experience and to really write together. And they just write a song and find two random singers who are not even sisters. And there you go. They win. What's the point of the entire system if you have that winning?
Yeah, they just were at the last minute. And it seems, they were definitely pushing for that song. And I can see where this leaves a bit of after. And listen to me. This is coming from a person who actually enjoyed the song. Roy, you remember earlier on I said, this is one of my higher rated ones, but I also said, don't send that to Eurovision. I said, please don't. I don't think it's going to be the right song. But I guess they weren't watching our live stream. Okay, lesson learned, my friends. Never ever miss a live stream of ESC United Mattitude, because I could have saved you. Now,
they should add us as a juror next year, like 25% for everything, and then you have the same categories as right now, but also ESC United category.
Yeah,
I think that'd be good.
Yeah, I know. We know what we're talking about. Okay, so what else is to talk about? So I'm just refreshing the results here right now one more time. 12, 6 points from the Eurovision panel. And as you pointed out, Robert, the sisters got one extra. Well, the thing is, so even if they would have finished in second place with the juries, they still would have won. So I don't think that 1 point ultimately.
No, it didn't make a difference in the end, but I genuinely thought for just 1 second, like when we heard the tightness of the result of the televote results, we had 2 left. If they'd come second in the televote, that could have made the difference. So
that could have been. So do we? Sean, thanks again for the contribution. I suggest vote as 50% and the other stuff combined 50%, sort of like Swedish system now adopted by ESC. I can see that. But you know, as Robbie pointed out, the televoters don't often look at what's best for the contest, but what's best for their own personal taste, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so. Exactly. I hate to disagree with somebody who's funding Matt's travels, but yeah, I do actually think that I like this experiment, and I would be intrigued to see more countries with it. I can totally understand the logic of saying it's another jury, put it in as a jury vote, 25% them, 25% actual jury, and then 50% televote. But I do feel that they aren't really representative of the juries solely, and they do have a voice that will be reflected in the televote at Eurovision. Yeah. And so to put them all as a jury, I think would possibly be weighting it a little too heavily in the favour of the televote overall.
Yeah. So a lot of people are very disappointed, but Roy, do you think that Germany would end up at the very bottom at Eurovision with the song, or are we a little... That's not.
No, I don't think they'll end at the bottom. Do I think they'll end on the left hand of the scoreboard? I think they'll be just a bit in the middle. Juries always love harmonizing, and I think they will probably make a decent staging for this at Eurovision. So I don't think they're entirely chanceless, but in my opinion, there were a lot better candidates that could have easily gotten a top 10 finish, or easily had a bit bigger shot.
More potential, yes,
top 10.
Potential. Yeah. ESC Shane is saying Germany has dropped from 5th to 28th in the odds. Now, keep in mind, the odds don't mean much at this point, but it's an indicator that people aren't happy, right? That is not that we need the odds for that. I think people in the chat were pretty clear about that as well, and probably on social media.
Odds are stupid anyways. Yeah. Like, I still don't understand how Albania can be in 39th place.
Well, keep in mind, the odds are basically on who you think is going to win. So it doesn't, because if you think Albania's going to be second, you will not put money down. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about.
No.
Albania's going to do way better than 39th, but Albania doesn't sound like a winning song to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I mean, take last year during the show when the UK were at one point I think we were in the top 10 to win, and we were favourite to come last.
I know. It's exactly how it works. It's really weird. Yeah. You have to take it with a grain of salt. Now, somebody's asking, it's a very valid point. We're just talking about the songs. Let's talk about the show as in general. So if you speak German, you understand. I personally loved the hosts. They were almost on the mean side a little, like sassy, and I thought it was hilarious. But they were quick. Like some of it was unscripted, most of it, but some of it in the response, they were just on top of it. When they missed the cue, there was a cue. She made a really funny joke about that. So I thought they did really, really well. What do you think, Robert, about the whole show?
Well, as the non-German speaker in the group of three of us, I thought they did a really good job. The only thing I would suggest is, well, two things. Firstly, keep to your running time. We were told it was 2 hours, and it was more like 2.5.
That's a German thing, though. They'll always run over. But yeah, go ahead.
Germans have a reputation in the UK for being punctual and efficient. So
no, they are always on time. Like when they leave, but arriving is a different story. Anyway, so go ahead.
But the main thing I would say is it felt like, obviously, because I don't speak German, it was a bit boring for me, but the introductions to the artists felt like they took forever.
Yes.
I really wish that they'd cut those right back. 30 seconds to a minute, fine. Totally cool with getting to know the artist a little bit better. But it felt like we spent as long learning about the artist as we did hearing their song. And, it's a 7-song show, guys. You can take an hour and a half to get through that and get everything sorted. And to take 2.5 hours, you are just padding it out a bit. So you can make it a bit slicker. But I have to say, getting through all the songs, you make a lot of other countries, get an idea of how to do it a bit better. So overall, I rather enjoyed the show, and I thought it was a good job. And I'm really glad that they've got rid of all multiple voting rounds and all the rest of it. It was a lot better in that respect.
Yes.
So I think good job, Germany.
How about
room for improvement.
Well, at first, I want to take a moment for Robert, because he thinks that something in the UK is better than in Germany. The runtime of the show, that is.
That's true.
Yes, one thing we could do better.
No, but I thought the show was really good. The hosts were really funny, but also what Robert said, the introductions to the artists could have been a bit shorter, in my opinion, as well. Like they first talked about what their dog did back in January and how their mom did grocery shoppings the other day. Then finally they got to the song, and it was a bit too long, in my opinion. It's cool to get to know the artist, but you can also do that in half an hour. Nice.
Germany, do not pick Roy to do your show next year. He has bad ideas.
Well, and I agree with what you're saying about the introduction. It's catered to a German audience, and they're probably like that. To me, it's a little much. People who listen to the live stream, they know that I'm not a big fan of like these American Idol, The Voice, X Factor shows. You know how they have like this person that is really like, and it's like this sad story behind like, and it's sad. I get it, but I don't know how this is relevant to their vocals or their staging or their song or whatever. They did the same thing. You remember like Susan Boyle years and years ago? It was always so almost condescending to her. Look at her. She's ugly and she can sing. Can you believe it? You know? And it's always like, this is, so what? It doesn't matter if she is not Kim Basinger. You know, like, but people want to bring that, you know, but and that's exactly what they do, you know. I lived in my car for 2 years. I'm like, I don't care. I don't. I want to hear the song. Little introduction is fine, but yeah, I definitely think they went overboard. And we were chatting online for a few minutes during the show, everyone on this, and those who are not from Germany, they do not get Udo Lindenberg, right? The old guy who was like,
no.
The hat. Was very confusing to you, huh?
He could have been my grandpa.
Well, yeah, he could have been my grandpa.
That's old, apparently.
Yeah, you didn't get it either, right, Robert?
No, not got a clue. And I generally like older musicians, so yeah, no idea what he was doing. I actually asked Matt if he was drunk, and Matt just said he was always like that. So
exactly.
He's always drunk.
Yeah. When I was a tiny little kid, he was already like an established artist, right? He's been around since I want to say for like almost 50 years now. So, or 40 years, so I don't know how long. For a very long time.
At least you haven't got around to sending him yet, unlike the UK sending our 50-year, artists who've got 50-year-long careers. So, one for Germany there.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one.
That's the one. But the thing that was really cool for me to see Lena again. That was a cool moment. She looks very she looks great. She was very cute as well. She was very excited to be there. These are like my roots, she said. This is so cool to be back here. I've got like 3 minutes standing ovation. I like these kind of moments, but it's within our Eurovision bubble, which we appreciate, right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed Leia coming back. And I actually really enjoyed her song as well. I thought it was really good and something totally different than what she had on Eurovision. And you can really just see how she matured over the years and that her music has become a bit more dedicated. That line was great and all, but yeah.
No, she has definitely matured into a different artist. Okay, so we're going to do a final round of questions, everyone. If you want to ask us questions at ESC United, this is always something that will stand out so we can respond to it. My questions to you in the meantime, Robert, should there be any updates, change to the staging? Should they do something different to make it work better in Tel Aviv?
Yes, I mean nothing's perfect, and they've got a few months to work out exactly how they want to take the song. I think the revolving stage, interesting idea, but I'm not too sure if it actually works for the song. The camera angles are pretty good. I don't know. I don't actually know how I'd improve it. I didn't really spend much time thinking about it during the show. There are one or two songs where I actually was thinking, okay, you need to change that, but I genuinely didn't give a lot of time to it. So I don't know if I just feel that this is an entry that's kind of already there and it's got a staging that works, or if it's just like this is as good as it's going to get and it's not very good. So I'm kind of in the middle with this one, but I don't know if there's a lot I would necessarily change immediately. I do think they actually work reasonably well together. Like the harmonizing was pretty good, which is a good start. I'll be interested to see how they approach this.
Yes. No, yeah, I'm curious. I mean, it's going to be difficult. I don't think they'll have the capacity, but they would have probably to bring a rotating stage with them, and that was going to be a pain to roll on stage, I guess. They might, but I don't know. I don't think necessarily. It looked good. It sounded good. I think they just needed to make a little bit connection. It seemed a little bit too rehearsed for me as they started walking around, like they were too focused on their not choreography, but definitely choreography, the way they were walking. Yeah. So it needs a little bit more intimate, maybe, for lack of a better word. but not too much. So there are a few questions coming in. Let me see here. Where do you put Germany in your top 14 so far? Robert?
Oh God. To be honest, given how I've been feeling so far about this year, it's probably top half. After all I've said, it's not been the best of year for my taste so far.
It's a recurring theme with most people so far.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Probably it's at the moment probably somewhere around 6th. I'd have said.
Yeah. How about you? Right.
I don't know. I find it quite difficult. I always find it difficult when you just have a few songs. Usually, it shapes up a little bit more when I have a bigger bunch of them. But I'll probably rank it about halfway in my list of songs. Mm-hmm. I don't really love it or anything, but also don't really hate it. So I would say somewhere in the middle.
That is my biggest fear of songs. I'd rather people hate a song and then some love it, because you don't want to be like, I don't love it, I don't hate it. It means it's vanilla. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Again, I hate using that metaphor because I love vanilla, but you know the expression. So so that's my biggest concern with that song, actually. But to answer the question, I'm with Rob. I think it's probably like 6-ish, around that. I haven't done a proper ranking yet, so I don't know exactly where each song would end up in my ranking. But it's not a horrible song. I just think it is not a remarkable song for Eurovision. And I'm just still surprised that the televote went for it. I can't get over that part. I was like, well, they're going to drop in the televote, so they're not going to win. I'm like, that I got completely wrong. You can never, ever assume, I guess. Let's take a look here. A few more questions. Will you do a post show tomorrow after all the national finals? Yes. And guess what? These two fools underneath and next to me promise that we'll be back, right?
Yes.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
I might have an entry I really like for a change, but I'm not going to hold out too much hope.
I know, right?
That'll be something.
We will not have a Matitude tomorrow. We did one earlier today because there were too many shows. Ukraine starts early, and then we move on to Hungary, and then there's Sweden. I can't. So we just did it today. So we will just have a post show. I will put up the link in just a little bit. So, good question by Mata. What is your favorite Big Five entry so far? I'll go first. It's Italy. It's not even a question for me. It's Italy all day long. How about you, Robert? Roy, what about you? Robert needs to...
Italy. Robert, back to you.
It's not Italy. It's not Italy,
it is.
France, Germany, Spain, or the UK. Can I just go for none of the... I hate to say this, but I think it's the UK.
Oh God, no! What happened to Robert?
I got a few comments when Dan and I talked about the UK for being too harsh about the UK entry. So that should give you an idea of how good I think the Big Five are this year. I am not a fan of War. I am not a fan of Salty. This is middling. Maybe it could be Germany, actually, to be fair. Maybe I do prefer it'd be Germany or the UK, and I'm really sorry, people.
All right, well... See, somebody likes our song. Okay, so I guess we're not going back to Germany next year.
Even though I'd love to, then I don't have to travel that far.
Oh, please. I can stay with my family and all that stuff again. It would be awesome. But I want to travel. So, so I'd rather see another country.
But you want it to the UK and come to Scotland?
Yes, the UK. I'm sure we have a 50-50 chance at winning, right? The UK. So Julian BH says again the odds for Germany came from 15-1 to 95-1. So yeah, somebody took their money out. I don't know how can you take your money out before, or you have to leave it on? I don't know how that works.
I don't bet. Huh? I don't bet. No idea.
Yeah, I don't think have any idea either. Because if I would also take my money out as well. Not because it's a bad song. Again, not a bad song. I'm just saying it's not a winner. So I would never put money down for this thinking it's a winner. Okay, let's see if we have a couple more questions. Ana Rita Nunes is asking, hi guys. I know I said, hi guys. What do you think about Conan Osiris' live performance in the first semi-final Kisses from Portugal? All right, well, let's do Portugal real quick. Did you guys like it?
Honestly, I love the song, and I love the performance of him and his dancer. What I hated, though, is those women in the background just making those sounds like, ooh, ooh. That really just distracted from the entire product, and I don't think he needs that.
You put them in the back, maybe backstage or something, or to the side where they're not, because it is distracting. I agree. Robert?
Yeah.
I was unfortunately at home with my family last week and I didn't watch any of the national finals, so I'm completely out from that selection. If he's qualified, I'll let you know what I think when it's the final.
Yep.
He is.
Then, yeah, he did qualify. So he's the fan favorite right now, so that's why they were talking. So out of the ones left, Harvey Scoos is asking, which national final are you most looking forward to? I think, you still Adal, Roy, is that the one you're looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I think that'll be really close and really exciting to see who will go to the super final and who will win. So probably Adal, yeah, but also Mel.
Tomorrow, definitely Adal as well, I think. And then, I don't know. I think we could. I'm going with Adal, Hungary. How about you?
I think it'd be fun to go. Iceland, possibly, just because we might have a bit of drama around the winner. So Iceland for the, just for the excitement. But yeah, I mean, Belfast has been quite good this year at the two semi-finals I have seen. Yes. So hopefully another one will be tomorrow's will be also quite good fun. So yeah, I'm not actually massively into the Ardal selection, but yeah, well, we'll see.
That's fair.
I'll probably get my favourite from one of my least favourite national selections, but we'll see. So I don't know, but yeah, I think Iceland and Belfast will be the two I'll be keeping the biggest eyes out for.
Yeah,
Iceland as well, yeah.
And as said, we will be back tomorrow and talking about a lot of the shows. Some may be on as we live streaming, so we're just going to figure out the results together. That is always fun. And do you think there's any chance, somebody was asking, that there could be a withdrawal in Germany like it happened 2 years ago? It's just like the winner's like, never mind.
Seeing their reaction, probably not. They were totally amazeballed by winning the first vote. They were like lying on the floor and doing all weird things and being super excited, so I don't think they'll pull out.
Yeah. I have to totally agree with Roy that I would be gobsmacked if they don't go to Eurovision. And that's, again, it's one of the joys to see it. It's so nice to see artists. This means so much to them. They get really excited about it, and it just brings joy to your heart, because it's like, we all love Eurovision so much. Going should be a real highlight of your career, of your life, to be able to go to Eurovision. And to just see some people who are just like, oh, okay, I'm through, am I? It's just a bit like, oh, come on, guys. There are thousands of people who'd love to be in your shoes. Look excited. So yeah, I'm really glad that they clearly care a lot and are really excited about going. So yeah, I don't see them withdrawing at all.
Okay, then the last question of the night. Marta, do you think we have heard the winner yet? And on the count of 3, we're going to say yes or no all together. Have we heard the winner yet? 1, 2, 3.
No.
Okay.
But there is a potential winner.
Yeah, that's true. So if that's it we have for today, thanks everyone for watching. Once again, Jeremy, I know not everyone is happy. It's been a very strange national finals season so far. That's the least, I think that's the understatement of the year. But we have to wait and see what's going to happen. And we'll be back tomorrow and analyzing all the other songs where people will be upset about. So that's what we love doing. In the meantime, have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good whatever.
Bye, guys.